When I saw that Lionsteel were making their new skinny knife out of Magnacut, I was very excited, and I snapped one up quicker than I could say
Buongiorno.
And as such, I've had a pretty cool little EDC knife in the pocket for the last couple of weeks. I did make the mistake of choosing the diarrhea brown and baby shit green with the black clashing coated blade. I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted the cheaper one because, I wanted to spend my YouTube ad revenue on a couple of knives and not just one this month. So I got this and the Spyderco Sage 5 in Maximet. So I think copping a bit of ugly for that extra awesome knife was still a good choice, even though I'm a little bit sad every time I look at this frankly hideous color palette there. But anyway, the knife has been in my pocket and it has been used, and it's been sharpened now to 17 degrees per side. Now, being in Magnacut means that it's not really a mystery how to heat treat this. It isn't an ancestral secret that you must open the old rusty tomes and dig out how the lore masters of steel used to treat this back in the days of Woot's Magnacut. It isn't like that. In fact, you write in Magnacut into Google, and the first thing that's probably going to come up is Larrin Thomas, the steelmaker's article about Magnacut and how he thinks it should be heat treated, and to what Rockwell hardness, and with what cooling method, and all the things you need to know. That doesn't stop some companies from going, no, we know better, we'll do it at 59, and then putting out a soft Magnacut knife that frankly just doesn't quite make sense given what the steel is capable of. What I'm hearing is that Lionsteel is going at 63 for these, and that is good. That is about what is recommended. So good job, Lionsteel, for doing just what the thing is that they say to do. Which is something that's, to be applauded for Lionsteel, because they are, for right or wrong, often a name that appears in the same YouTube comments as the term baby shit soft. For, track record and other steels, namely their M390. So it is good to see that they are taking the Magnacut seriously and going for the best performance out of it in terms of heat treatment anyway. One thing I will sort of wag the finger at still is that this was a fairly thick behind the edge knife, and my 17 degree edge that I put on this did climb those cheeks just a little bit more than they normally would on a thinner stocked knife, or a knife that is thinner behind the edges. And the face of the blade, just back here above the silver bit there, it's still quite thick. That's what the thickness behind the edge is. And that will mean the knife is a little bit harder probably to push through the rope, things like that. But the absolute edge though is 17 degrees, and I did that using the brand new KME sharpening system. Very excited to use the new KME. It's got the full length stones. It's really it's not just an incremental improvement, it's a huge leap in KME above the previous one. Definitely swinging with the TS Profs. So if you want something that puts the dollar in the American pocket rather than the pocket of the Russians, or the who makes the Hapstone, the Ukrainians, or who makes the Wicked Edge, the Americans, that's the same people as the ones who make the KME. Anyway, if you want to put some dollars in the American pocket and you feel like giving KME some money, I haven't done the full review yet. I've only sharpened 3 or 4 knives on it, but it's looking like it's pretty darn positive. So anyway, we'll cover that later in a later video. But put the edge on it with that, went 300, 600, 1500 diamond stones, and then I chose a selection of the leather strops with the diamond compounds, and it was just a great time had by all. So yeah, 17 degree edge on the knife. Let's do some rope cutting. We're going to cut rope until it no longer slices through a held sheet of paper, and we'll come up with a number after that, and we'll see if it performs. Well, Magnacut should perform, if it's good, between like 600 and 800. I've had it up to 1,000 before with a really thin edge. I've had it like at 550 before with like a rougher edge. It's a scale, but good Magnacut will be in that sort of 700-ish range. Not precise, but good ballpark. People seem to like how this test mirrors their lived experience with a steel. So let's see how your lived experience might be if you get yourself a Lionsteel Skinny. Alrighty, so 750 cuts of the twisted sisal rope. That is about good for Magnacut. That is normal Magnacut. So that is good because Magnacut is a good steel. Look, this steel seems to do quite well on the test here because my test is not only seeing how it goes through the fibery stuff, but it is also then hitting a board, having those little twisty motions against a bit of wood, which is testing the toughness of the steel as well. So I think that is, it's my theory as to why Magnacut generally does pretty well on this test. So there we are. Look, tip of the hat to Lionsteels for doing the basic, doing the recommended, not trying anything, to save a bit of electricity cost on heating it for a couple of seconds less, or whatever the rationale is behind when they don't treat the steels the way that the manufacturers recommend. But good on them for not doing that and for just putting out a good sample of Magnacut. It makes knife a lot easier to review. You don't have to do that sort of that qualifier of like, now it's not really something that matters to everyone, but sometimes the steel and Lionsteels is a bit something, because it's not, it's just good Magnacut. So Spyderco, I've had it do it about 800. The Hogue I think is about 750. So it's all pretty good steel. It's going to be nice and stainless. It's going to be tough enough. And yeah, if you are interested in this pattern of knife, and this isn't the review, but if it's not a complete killer, that it's a little bit thick behind the edge, then this is going to be a pretty recommendable little knife. Just for goodness sake, don't get it in this unless you think that looks good. But I don't know who it looks. I don't know who would, because it's uncharacteristically ugly for a Lionsteel, who makes some of the most beautiful knives in the world. I gotta make peace with it. I gotta come to terms with it. But my God, you're ugly.
God, this sucks.